င်္ဂလာပါဒီဗီဒီယိုကျွန်တော်အင်္ဂလိပ်လိုပြောပါမယ်ခင်ဗျာနော်ဆိုတော့ let's say today's topic is going to be about why are we afraid of each other. Okay, a journey into humanity, social science, and psychology. So it's a very heavy topic. Let's start. Why is it, my question is that why is it that the sight of someone different, example like their skin tone, their accent, their belief, it can ignite uneasiness, even fear? In a world more connected than ever, why does it sometimes feel like we are drifting apart? Why? So we are going to dive into, not dive, but then I'm going to dive into what I think it is. Okay, so basically it all starts with psychology. So when I say psychology, of course it's going to be about biology, our human beings. So basically about our brains. Okay, so the human brain is weird for survival, like everybody knows, and it's not comfortable to talk about it, right? Sometimes. So let's just say that there's the amygdala, right? That ignites the first sign of threat, and for every humans, strangers could mean danger. That's why we always say that to our children, that don't talk to strangers, right? For example. So why? Well, because it's fear, right? Because we need to protect ourselves. So that's what we believe, right? But what kept us alive thousands of years ago, now when there are a lot of connections, it keeps us divided. Okay, it keeps us divided. That's why look around the world, right? Look around the world. Like it all starts with greed and so on and so forth. Who is right and who is wrong? So what I'm saying right now is just my chain of thoughts, my chain of brains, right? So I may be wrong and I may be right, but if you don't like it, then you don't need to look at it. Just saying it. So next will be the fear in the society, right? If you fast forward through history, and if you look at every media and every politicians and every politics, and even economy, even marketing, fear becomes a tool, if you think about it. So, example, government have used to control population. You know that, right? And propaganda painted outsiders as enemy. You know that too. For example, in the Cold War, the fear of nuclear annihilation kept whole generation awake at night. Am I wrong? Right? I may be. Who knows? Fear isn't just personal. Like, it's political, and it's culture, and it's institutional. So that what makes it us versus them. That's why there's so much violence in the world right now. Okay, that's what I feel. Okay, so next part will be about what makes this modern amplifiers, probably. So what about today, right? If you look at it, because of thanks to these social medias, fear spread faster than ever. Like, if you like go back to pre-internet era, news doesn't travel that fast. Now with social medias and all these internet cables, satellite TVs, and so on and so forth, the more technologically advanced we are, the more the tool fear can be applied. Example, right? Media headlines scream danger. Social media algorithms amplify outrages. Globalization brings culture together, but also sparks anxiety about identity, jobs, and belonging. The more connected we are, the more magnified our fears can be. It's sad, right? It's sad. It is sad, but, well, But let's think about it. Well, it may be controversial. I too have fear. Of course, I'm a human being after all. And I am, well, I wouldn't say I'm a conservative, but I would say that I am more like, well, not 100% conservative, and I'm not liberal as well. I don't know, what am I? What am I? Anyway, I'm more like a middle guy, I would say, So, if you look everything in the world, and okay, the world means it's so big, it's so vast, right? Just look around ourselves, like your family members, you yourself, and also your friends, and so on and so forth. If you look at them, and if you really look, you will find that some topics, some discussions, some arguments are not even worth it. Ponder yourself, right? Ponder yourself whether, how would I describe this? Ponder yourself whether the topic that you are arguing, the topic that you are having a conversation with, is it worth your time? Is your belief, is your facts, is your argumental facts going to change the other person? And are you right as well? Right? Right, you are correct, you are right. It's only a different perspective, right? Think about it. The only truth in the world is you live, you suffer, you enjoy your desire, your earthly desire, and then you die. That's the only truth. The rest of the truth, such as, like, of course, I wouldn't say the rest of the truth, because killing someone is, of course, it is wrong. Definitely wrong. Stealing someone's belongings are definitely wrong as well. But just say, just let's give it a benefit of doubts, okay? So the rest are just different perspective, different perceptions, right? So fear, or this us versus them, is not the final goal. It is not the destiny, right? Science showed us that when people from different groups collaborate, stereotype breaks, trust grows, dialogue, empathy, education can rewire what history has programmed. Well, when I say program, it may sound like conspiracy theory, but then think about it. Our social environment has programmed us. The first people to be able to program us were our family members, our parents, and they themselves were programmed by their parents, by the social environment, so on and so forth. What is right, what is wrong, us versus them, they are our enemies. All these things has been implanted implanted in our heads since we're a child. Right? For example, if you look at fear, in terms of that, the word fear is basically implanted when we started to think. Well, maybe around 6 years old, 7 years old, 5 years old, around there. Because when you look at it, right, a newborn baby, a toddler, they are not afraid of anything. Think about it, right? Let that sink in. Because there was if you remember, there was a social experiment where these toddlers were given snakes. Of course, not non-poisonous. They were not afraid of these snakes. They were playing with it. They were biting them. So where does this fear come from? The environment, the family members, the parents. Let that sink in, okay? This is my second time telling you guys to let them sink in. Let that sink in, okay? Because we were not born from fear, okay? If you think about it, we were born from connection. The connection between your father, your mother. Or, if you're unable to give birth, then both parents, you are adopted. So without that connection, you were not born. You were not given a chance to live on this earth. Let that sink in. It's not fear, yeah? It's not fear. It's not fear. Whether you're adopted or not, whether you were born naturally or not, however it may be, it was because, or it was thanks to this connection that we were born. Okay. It is not fear. Maybe in very, very how would you call that? In a very, very unlikely event. Example, when the population is going down, right, and you need the legacy to continue, whether in a family members or whether in a country, then yeah, maybe it may be because of fear of losing this legacy, losing this nation, going out. Yeah, then maybe it's because of you. But that's very in an unlikely event. But who knows? There might be a slight possibility, and there might be a slight percentage. Right? So, my conclusion is, why are we afraid of each other? Would be because our brains cling to ancient instinct. Our societies exploit fear, and our technology magnifies it. But fear is only half the story. The other half is choice. Well, sometimes when I say choice, it may not be choice. Think about it. Just think about it. Do all our choices your own free will? Or is it programmed? Is it manipulated? Okay? Whether we keep living in suspicion or dare to build trust, it's up to us. Up to you, up to me, up to everyone. What I believe is that the future of humanity doesn't belong to fear. It belongs to understanding. To understand each other, we first need to listen. We first really need to listen. You don't need to shout. You don't need to kill each other. We don't need to be us versus them. All we need is a good conversation where we give each other time to talk about it. Just give about 5 to 10 minutes each, discuss it like a debate, you know? I'm not saying this because of what happened to Kirk, but then, yeah, I've been thinking about this for such a long time that maybe what Kirk has done, what happened to him, ignited. Who knows? But a normal conversation would be nice. I really do hate noises, by the way. I'm an introvert. I hate noises. I don't like it at all. But I want to have a normal conversation. Like, the tone will be what I have right now. I don't like shoutings. Just give a benefit of doubts and just have a normal conversation. We might learn something new. Okay? We might learn something new. Doesn't any religion teach us to be humble? Right? We need to practice what we preach. It's very sad, it's very sad that we don't. Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Jews, it's all the same. It's all the same. But then, I do understand that when someone comes knocking on your door with rifle knife with intent to harm, then yeah, we need to protect. Understandable. But before that, why don't we just sit down and have a nice conversation? Anyway, if you find this meaningful, share it with someone who needs a little reminder that fear is not forever. And maybe, who knows, subscribe, like, and maybe let's explore more to understand ourselves. There's so much we can do. Okay? Ming La Ba.